Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Alexandra sauntered into the lobby of the Carter Industries headquarters, her confidence radiating through every step. The click of her stiletto heels on the marble floor echoed, announcing her arrival to the receptionist. "I'm here to see Mr. Carter," she stated, her voice a smooth, velvety purr. "Tell him it's Alexandra. He'll understand the importance." The receptionist, a young man with a nervous demeanor, nodded hastily and picked up the phone. Alexandra knew the power of her name and the reputation that preceded her. She was a force to be reckoned with in the business world, known for her strategic prowess and persuasive abilities. As she waited, she ran a hand through her sleek dark hair, her sharp nails drawing attention. Her suit, tailored to accentuate her feminine curves, sent a clear message of power and elegance. She was in her element, and she knew that Mr. Carter, despite his resistance, would not be able to ignore her proposition. "Miss Carter will see you now," the receptionist finally said, a hint of relief in his voice. With a slight smile, Alexandra rose and made her way toward the executive floors. The doors to Justin Carter's office suite swung open, and Alexandra stepped into a masculine domain, the air thick with the scent of leather and expensive whiskey. Behind a vast desk, an older man sat, his face set in a permanent frown of disapproval. Gray hair framed his weathered features, and his steely gaze assessed Alexandra with a mix of suspicion and wariness. Alexandra," he began, his voice gruff and hesitant. "I assume this is regarding the unique proposal you sent my way." She advanced toward him, her movements graceful and deliberate. "Mr. Carter, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. I know your time is valuable, so I'll get straight to the point." Leaning forward, she placed her palms on his desk, her eyes locking with his. "Your company, Mr. Carter, is at a crossroads. The old ways are no longer serving you, and you know it. The industry is evolving, and those who don't adapt will be left behind." Justin shifted uncomfortably in his chair, his defensiveness rising. "I've built this company from the ground up, and traditional values have served me well. I don't see the need to cave to every new fad that comes along." Alexandra's lips curved into a slight smile. "Oh, Mr. Carter, it's not about caving or compromising your values. It's about embracing a strategy that will showcase the modernity and inclusivity of your company. It's a temporary tactic, one that will reap incredible benefits." "And what tactic might that be?" Justin challenged, his arms crossing defensively over his chest. With deliberate slowness, Alexandra straightened, her eyes never leaving his. "You, Mr. Carter, are going to embrace a temporary feminized identity." A stunned silence filled the room. Justin's eyes widened, and for a moment he seemed at a loss for words. "You want me to what?" he sputtered, his face reddening. "Embrace your feminine side, Mr. Carter," Alexandra purred, her eyes sparkling with challenge. "Just for a short while. It's a strategic move that will revolutionize how people perceive you and your company." Justin rose from his chair, his expression incredulous. "You want me to prance around in a dress and high heels? Are you mad, woman?" Alexandra's smile never wavered. "Not at all, Mr. Carter. It's about more than just appearances. It's about adopting a different perspective, one that will open doors and create opportunities." "Opportunities?" Justin scoffed. "The only opportunity I see is the chance to become a laughingstock." "On the contrary," Alexandra countered, her voice steady. "Studies show that companies with diverse leadership are more innovative, more profitable, and more in tune with their customers. By embracing this tactic, you'll be sending a powerful message of progressiveness and inclusivity." Justin paced behind his desk, his hands clasping and unclasping nervously. "It's madness. Pure madness. My competitors will eat me alive." "Or," Alexandra said, her voice low and persuasive, "they will admire your boldness and forward-thinking approach. Mr. Carter, the business world is like a game of chess. To win, you sometimes have to make unexpected moves that throw your opponent off balance. Justin stopped pacing, his eyes narrowing. And you think this charade will work? I know it will, Alexandra asserted, her confidence unwavering. It's not just about the external changes. It's about tapping into the power of the feminine. It's a different way of thinking, a different approach to leadership. The power of the feminine? Justin repeated, his brow furrowed. What exactly do you mean by that? A feminized perspective brings qualities often overlooked in the business world, Alexandra explained, her passion evident. Empathy, intuition, collaboration. These are assets, Mr. Carter. They foster better decision-making, enhance team dynamics, and create a more harmonious work environment. Justin sank back into his chair, his skepticism evident. And you expect me to buy into this theory? I'm asking you to try something different, Alexandra persisted, her eyes never wavering. Something that will challenge your notions of what it takes to succeed in business. Leaning back, Justin steepled his fingers, considering. Let's say, for argument's sake, that I consider this outrageous proposition. What would be the parameters of this experiment? A hint of satisfaction flickered in Alexandra's eyes. Firstly, it would require a commitment to fully embracing the transformation. That means not just the physical changes, but also adopting the mindset and behaviors associated with the feminine. And how long would this performance last? Justin asked, his tone laden with resistance. A month, Alexandra replied without hesitation. 30 days to revolutionize not just your public image, but also your self-perception. 30 days to challenge your biases and those of your industry peers. Justin's eyebrows shot up. A month? Are you insane? I can't possibly… Alexandra held up a hand, cutting him off. I understand your concerns, Mr. Carter, but remember, perception is everything. A temporary transformation can have a lasting impact. It will be a period of intense learning and growth. Justin rubbed his temples, his resistance wavering. And what exactly would I have to do during this learning experience? We'll start with a comprehensive makeover, Alexandra explained, her excitement building. A new wardrobe, hair, and makeup. You'll learn to move, speak, and present yourself in a way that aligns with your new identity. It will be a total immersion. Justin's mouth twitched as if he wanted to smile at the absurdity of it all, but he quickly suppressed it. And my employees, my competitors, do I just announce this as a bold new direction for the company? Absolutely, Alexandra said, her voice steady. You'll be sending a powerful message of inclusivity and progressiveness. It will be a statement of your willingness to challenge the status quo and embrace diversity. Justin fell silent, his gaze dropping to his desk as he considered her words. Alexandra pressed on, sensing his hesitation. Mr. Carter, you have an opportunity to be a pioneer, to lead by example and show that success in business is not limited to one type of person or one way of thinking. As the silence stretched between them, Alexandra held her breath, knowing that this was the pivotal moment. Finally, Justin looked up, his eyes reflecting a mixture of resignation and curiosity. Very well, Miss Alexandra. I'll play this absurd game, but I assure you it will be a temporary charade, 1 month as you suggested. A smile of victory curved Alexandra's lips. Excellent, Mr. Carter. I applaud your willingness to step into unknown territory. Trust me, the rewards will far outweigh any initial discomfort. Justin's mouth twisted. Discomfort doesn't begin to cover it, Miss Alexandra, but I suppose I'm intrigued enough to give it a try. Wonderful, Alexandra purred, extending her hand. After a slight hesitation, Justin shook it, his grip firm. Let's get this transformation underway, then. Justin studied his reflection in the full-length mirror, his eyes widening at the transformation. He was barely recognizable. The hair, once cropped short, now fell in soft waves framed by face-flattering layers. Expertly applied makeup enhanced his features, and his lips were painted a subtle shade of pink. A form-fitting dress accentuated his curves, and a pair of heels added a few inches to his height. Remarkable, he whispered, his voice sounding strange to his own ears. You look absolutely stunning, Alexandra said, her eyes sparkling with satisfaction. The transformation is truly remarkable. Justin turned, his movements restricted by the dress and heels. I feel different. You are different, Alexandra corrected. You've embraced a new identity, and with it, a different perspective. I feel ridiculous, Justin admitted, running a hand over the smooth fabric of the dress. It will take time to adjust, Alexandra soothed. But remember, it's not just about the physical changes. It's about embodying the power of the feminine. Your mindset is just as important as your appearance. I know, Justin sighed, shaking his head. It's a lot to process. Indeed it is, Alexandra agreed, her eyes sympathetic. But you're well on your way to mastering this new persona, and I have no doubt that you'll surprise yourself in the coming weeks. Justin's eyes narrowed as he studied his reflection. You really think this will work? That people will buy this act? Oh, they'll buy it, Alexandra assured him, her smile confident. And more importantly, they'll respect it. You'll be sending a powerful message of inclusivity and progressiveness. That's what will truly make an impact. Justin's gaze dropped to the floor. I suppose I just need to get used to it. You will, Alexandra encouraged. And remember, it's not forever. It's a temporary strategy with potentially lasting benefits. Now, shall we move on to the next phase of your transformation? Justin straightened, steeling himself. By all means, lead the way. I still can't believe I agreed to this, Justin muttered as he followed Alexandra into the conference room. His heels clicked on the hardwood floors, drawing curious glances from the employees they passed. Alexandra flashed him a reassuring smile. You're doing wonderfully, Mr. Carter. Remember, project confidence and own this new persona. Justin drew in a breath, straightening his shoulders. Right, confidence. I can do this. As they entered the conference room, heads turned and whispers filled the air. Justin felt all eyes on him as he strode purposefully toward the head of the table. Good morning, everyone, Justin said, his voice pitched slightly higher than usual. I trust you've all heard about our company's new direction. Murmurs of assent filled the room, along with a few confused glances. As many of you know, diversity and inclusivity are key pillars of our corporate strategy, Justin continued, his nerves settling as he found his stride. And in that spirit, I'm proud to embrace a temporary feminized identity. A stunned silence greeted his words, followed by a buzz of excited chatter. This is more than just a statement, Justin went on, his confidence growing. It's about challenging our own biases and embracing new perspectives. It's about leading by example and showing that success in business knows no boundaries. One of the executives, a middle-aged man named Henry, raised a hesitant hand. Miss Carter, may I ask why you've chosen to take this unusual path? Justin met his gaze steadily. It's simple, Henry. I wanted to experience the world through a different lens, to understand the challenges and opportunities that come with embracing a feminized identity. It's a learning experience for all of us. Another executive, a woman named Sarah, spoke up. It's a bold move, Miss Carter. I, for one, commend your courage. It sends a powerful message to our competitors and the industry as a whole. Justin allowed himself a small smile. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate your support, and I encourage all of you to embrace this journey with me. It's an opportunity for growth and change. Henry still looked uncertain, but he nodded. Of course, Miss Carter. We'll adapt and support you in any way we can. Excellent, Justin said, his satisfaction growing. Now, let's move on to the agenda for today. I believe we have some exciting new projects to discuss. As the meeting progressed, Justin felt his initial nerves settle. The executives seemed to accept his new identity, and the atmosphere in the room was one of curious enthusiasm. Alexandra, who had been observing from the sidelines, gave him an encouraging smile. Justin found himself drawing strength from her presence, grateful for her guidance and support. As the meeting drew to a close, Justin felt a sense of pride in what he had accomplished. The initial shock and skepticism had given way to curiosity and even admiration. He couldn't wait to see what the coming weeks would bring. "Well done, Miss Carter," Alexandra murmured as they exited the conference room. "You handled that brilliantly." Justin's chest swelled with satisfaction. "Thank you, Alexandra. I have to admit, it feels rather liberating." Alexandra's eyes sparkled. "Just wait, Mr. Carter. The best is yet to come." The weeks passed in a blur of transformation and self-discovery for Justin. He immersed himself in his new identity, learning to move and speak with a grace and elegance that surprised even himself. The reactions he received ranged from curiosity to admiration, and he found himself enjoying the challenge of defying expectations. As the days turned into weeks, Justin noticed subtle changes in the dynamics of his company. The employees seemed more engaged, and a sense of excitement hung in the air. It was as if his decision to embrace a feminized identity had injected new life into the organization. One afternoon, as Justin was reviewing some reports in his office, there was a soft knock on the door. "Come in," he called out, his voice confident and assured. The door opened to reveal Alexandra, her expression proud and satisfied. "Mr. Carter, I believe the time has come to evaluate the impact of your transformation." Justin rose, his movements graceful and fluid. "Indeed, it has. Please, have a seat." Alexandra took a seat across from him, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Tell me, how have you found the experience so far?" Justin paused, considering his words carefully. "It's been eye-opening," he finally said. "I've gained a new perspective on the challenges and opportunities that come with embracing a feminized identity." "And how have others received you?" Alexandra pressed, leaning forward. A slight smile played on Justin's lips. "With curiosity and respect, for the most part. I've noticed a shift in the company culture. There's a certain buzz of excitement, as if my decision has encouraged others to embrace their own unique paths." Alexandra nodded, her satisfaction evident. "It's a ripple effect, Mr. Carter. Your willingness to challenge stereotypes and embrace diversity has empowered those around you to do the same." Justin leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. "You know, Alexandra, I have to admit, I've grown quite fond of this new identity." Alexandra's eyebrows rose, a hint of surprise in her eyes. "Is that so, Mr. Carter?" "It is," Justin confirmed, his voice soft but firm. "At first, I was skeptical. I thought it would be a temporary charade, a means to an end. But as the weeks have passed, I've found myself embracing this feminized persona in ways I never expected." Alexandra leaned forward, her interest piqued. "Tell me more." Justin's gaze dropped to his hands, which were folded delicately in his lap. "It's hard to explain, but I feel liberated, as if I've tapped into a part of myself that I never knew existed. The way I move, the way I speak, the way I approach challenges, it all feels more natural, more authentic." "That's fascinating," Alexandra murmured, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "And how has this newfound authenticity impacted your leadership style?" Justin considered the question for a moment. "I've noticed a shift in the way I interact with my employees. I'm more empathetic, more intuitive. I listen more than I speak. And I'm more attuned to the needs and concerns of those around me." Alexandra nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "The power of the feminine, Mr. Carter. It's a different approach to leadership, one that values collaboration and emotional intelligence." "Indeed," Justin agreed, his eyes distant. "And it's not just my leadership style that's changed. I've noticed a shift in the company culture as well." "Oh?" Alexandra prompted, her interest growing. "There's a certain energy in the air," Justin explained, his voice animated. "A sense of excitement and possibility. It's as if my decision to embrace this feminized identity has inspired others to challenge their own biases and limitations." Alexandra's smile widened. "A ripple effect, Mr. Carter. Your willingness to step outside of your comfort zone has empowered those around you to do the same." Justin nodded, his expression thoughtful. "I never imagined that a simple change in appearance and demeanor could have such a profound impact." "It's more than just a change in appearance," Alexandra corrected gently. "It's a shift in perspective, a willingness to embrace a different way of being in the world." Justin's gaze met hers, a flicker of vulnerability in his eyes. "I'm not sure I'm ready to let go of this persona, Alexandra. The thought of returning to my old self feels limiting." Alexandra's expression softened. "Who says you have to let go, Mr. Carter? Perhaps this transformation is more than just a temporary strategy. Perhaps it's a path to a more authentic and fulfilling way of life." Justin's eyes widened, a hint of excitement in his voice. "You mean I could continue to embrace this feminized identity, even beyond the initial month we discussed?" "Absolutely," Alexandra affirmed, her voice steady. "If this persona feels true to who you are, then there's no reason to abandon it. Your journey of self-discovery is just beginning." Justin fell silent, his mind racing with possibilities. The thought of continuing to explore this new facet of his identity filled him with a sense of exhilaration and purpose. "I want to do it," he finally said, his voice firm with conviction. "I want to continue embracing my feminine side, both in my personal life and in my role as a leader." Alexandra's smile was radiant. "I had a feeling you might say that, Mr. Carter, and I couldn't be more thrilled to support you on this journey." Justin returned her smile, a sense of peace settling over him. "Thank you, Alexandra. Your guidance and encouragement have been invaluable." "It's been my pleasure," Alexandra said, her eyes warm. "Now, let's discuss how we can continue to integrate this feminized perspective into your leadership style and company culture." Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.